and welcome to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joe. Smarter to be with you for the next 1 hour as we take you on this joyride of current affairs. And may I make mention that we'll be hosting the newly appointed UPND Media Director, Mr. Max Moe, who's going to make his way here shortly. But for now, we get into our newspaper pick for this morning and see what the papers are saying. Let's get into it. Okay, we go straight to the Daily Revelation that runs with the headline, State House justifies Bayani. It's normal for him to differ with Zamstat over census report. And on your top right corner there, we have government won't worship lies in the name of media freedom, says Moetwa. In blue here, letters in yellow, I have to hear from HH why he missed Nujoma's funeral, says Kaweche. Okay, and we did see that the Minister of Lands, Honorable Suvia Masevo, who happens to be Chongwe Member of Parliament, attended that particular funeral of veteran politician and freedom fighter, the founding father of Namibia, Sir Nujoma there, who went to be with the Lord. Okay, so there goes the headline there on the Daily Revelation. State House justifies Bayani. It's normal for him to differ with Zamstat over census report. Okay, that's how the Daily Revelation looks like this particular morning. We go to our next daily tabloid. You can come through with your contributions, obviously, and what you think about this particular headline, and you can weigh in on the sub headlines as well that are coming through from the Daily Revelation as we continue in our newspaper, what the newspapers say this particular morning. And we want to get your contributions as an esteemed viewer out there. And remember to like our Facebook page and leave a comment therein. And soon enough, we'll be launching our online app where you'll be able to download the app and be able to follow and sample our programming as Camnet TV. Let's see what the next daily tabloid has for us this morning. Okay, our next daily tabloid will be coming through, but for now, that's the headline on the Daily Revelation, and obviously those are some of the sub headlines. Now, State House justifies Bayani. It's normal for him to differ with Zamstat over census. Now, you do remember that Zamstat released a report, a census summary report that was released by Zamstat, and the civil service chairperson Dr. Bayani said these particular figures that were released by Zamstat were not, he wasn't happy with the figures, obviously, and he told them that the report was now and void. However, we do have this particular headline coming from the Daily Revelation that says State House justifies Bayani. It's normal for him to differ with Zamstat over census report. Okay, in these institutions, different institutions, people obviously differ on one or two things, but however, the best thing is to find a working ways on how you can harmonize things and come to an agreement. Okay, I have to hear from HH why he missed Nujoma's funeral. Kaweche, in what capacity is Mr. Kaweche asking the head of state? Is he an ambassador? Is he my question is, who is he for him to ask that particular question to the head of state. Of course, we know he is a son to the former founding father of the nation, former President Dr. Kenneth Buchizia Kaunda. That's the son, Mr. Kawoiche, saying that he will ask the president why he did not attend the funeral of the late freedom fighter, founding father of Namibia, Sir Sam Nujoma. But the president, we saw that he did send Chongwe Member of Parliament and Lands Minister, Honorable Sylvia Masebo, who is a senior government official, to attend that particular funeral. Okay, let's go to the next daily tabloid and see what it has to say. Okay, we go straight to the mast. Now, the mast yesterday was mentioned repeatedly by Minister of Information and Media, Honorable Cornelius Moito, at a media briefing in Lusaka, the capital city, yesterday, at the Ministry of Information and Media, where this press briefing was being held. The mast was repeatedly mentioned. Okay, so the mast runs with the banner headline, "We will take you on." Moito warns Bishop Piri over criticism. Okay, on your bottom right of your TV screen, obviously, we have the on top we have the image of the minister. Then bottom there we have Sona was just for self-praise, says Changala. Then below there in green, letters in white, we have Zamstart census report credible, Musoko Tuane. Obviously, yesterday we saw the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Honorable Dr. Stumbeko Musoko Tuane, giving a ministerial statement regarding the census report that was released by Zamstats. So, according to the minister and government, obviously, the census report is credible. Okay, let's go back to the mast and sample some of the sub-headlines they are in. No plan to arrest Lungu government. Okay, government has clarified that they have no plans of arresting former President Edgar Lungu. Let's go to the next daily tabloid. Okay, we go to the News Diggers, which runs with the banner headline. Yesterday, first of all, let me make mention that yesterday was a hive of activity at the Ministry of Information and Media, where the Minister of Information and Media, Honorable Cornelius Moto, was having a press briefing alongside the newly appointed deputy spokesperson of the UPND, and we're talking about Honorable Elvis Nkandu, who happens to be the Minister of Sports, Youth, Sports and Art. He was unveiled yesterday as the UPND deputy spokesperson, deputizing Honorable Cornelius Moitoa. Then obviously also the person who was unveiled yesterday as the newly appointed media director is Mr. Max Moe, and also Mr. Oliver Shalala comes in as UPND consultant. And yesterday we saw that a ministerial team was constituted, that includes Honorable Likando Mfalali and also Honorable Elijah Mchima, who happens to be the health minister. That particular ministerial team also include Honorable Frank Museva Tayali from the Ministry of Transport, Honorable Doreen Mwamba also from the Ministry of Community Development, will be in that particular ministerial team. And we hope and pray as the media that we're going to get these individuals, these ministers, this team that has been constituted to appear on media programs and explain government policies, like the minister assured the media yesterday that these individuals will be available as and when they are called upon to attend interviews, so that the general public out there can be informed on what government is planning, on what policies government is implementing, on how government is responding, for instance, to the issues of the floods, the flash floods, and so many things that border on national matters. We hope and pray that these ministers will be readily available to appear for interviews, including the media team that has been constituted which includes, I forgot to mention that Mr. Squindi Stula as well has been appointed as Deputy Media Director for the UPND, replacing Mr. Chelo Katambo, and obviously Mr. Max Moe replaces Ruth Dante. So we hope this particular team will be media friendly, media accessible, so that they will be able to explain the policies that government is implementing or planning to implement, especially that we are getting into 2026 soon, into an election year. And we expect Mr. Max Moe to make his way right here, where he will be able to appear, and of course you the viewers are allowed to come through and ask him questions, or you can send a message or engage us via Facebook, our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, so that you can send those messages in advance, or those questions in advance, or contributions in advance, so that as he comes, we fire him with that particular questions, critical questions that border on national development. Now let's go to that particular daily tabloid and sample that headline from the news diggers. Okay, we will gag liars if need be, government. Okay, we heard that, we heard and read and saw what the minister was saying yesterday. He cited some media outlets as liars. However, we don't want to delve into that, but that's the headline that comes from the news diggers. And on top there, we have load shedding to reduce by June 2025, government. Okay, there have been reports of improved electricity supply in some areas. Yes, and this is obviously being attributed to the water levels in the Kariba Dam, and of course we have the Mamba collieries. So these are some of the things that we need the UPND media team that has been constituted to come through and explain to the general public. The general concern has been that the UPND and its media apparatus haven't been fully effective and efficient in explaining government policies. For one, I don't remember hosting the former media director, or seeing her appearing on different platforms explaining government policies. I can confess that, and obviously I can speak for other media houses, because she was not accessible. So we hope Mr. Max Moore will be accessible, seeing that he's appearing at another media outlet, and he will be making his way here to appear on Camnet TV. If he doesn't, obviously we'll be able to let you know, our viewers out there, but we are sure he's going to come through and explain some of the plans that government has, and how are they going to reach to reducing the impact of load shedding by June. What plans are they going to put in place? What mitigation measures are they laying down, so that the citizens can follow through come June 2025? People won't be surprised that we still have load shedding, or load shedding has reduced. So what are the plans? What are the steps that government is putting in place to ensure that by June, like the minister assured the nation yesterday, issues of load shedding will be a thing of the past, or it will electricity supply to different homes will be improved. So we look forward to having Mr. Smoe here, so that he can be able to explain to the nation. Let's go back to the news diggers and continue sampling some of the sub-headlines. Police nab 2 Chinese for defying mine suspension of Rong Sing. Okay, and now this particular story in itself doesn't come as a surprise. We have obviously foreign nationals that decide to be notorious for whatever reason, and of course our hard-working men and women in uniform do not know color, do not know creed, do not know religion. They just follow the law. Regardless of who you are, they will just follow the law, and they'll pounce on you and make sure that you do the right thing next time around. So yes, foreign nationals there, the Chinese, to be precise, following that particular headline, have been nabbed. Let's go back and see what we have. Population explosion shocks Musokotwane. Can you imagine? From 13 to 20 million. Okay. That particular headline, the minister says it has shocked him. The minister should be, the minister says he has been shocked that there's that population jump or increase in our population. But to tell you the truth, if you go into our neighborhoods, whether it's in the suburbs, you're talking about Ibex, Kablonga, Woodlands, Avondale, or if you talk about the densely populated areas, the townships, you talk about Bowlen, you talk about Mandevu, you talk about Chawama, Misisi, you talk about Garden, you talk about which other one? Amtendere or Kalingalinga. You will find that the population in there leaves much to be desired. That jump can be possible. People are closely packed, especially here in Lusaka. No wonder some people refer to Lusaka as being congested, because there are too many people. Obviously, more opportunities are found in Lusaka, the capital city. Wake up around 5 hours or 4:30 and make your way into town. You will see how many people throng the CBD, just the road, Diden Kemati Road that passes through intercity. You will see how many people line up there early in the morning. So now my question is, when this data is being compiled, the numbers are coming up, do we as a nation count street kids? Do we as a nation count the homeless? Do we as a nation count or take measures, stringent measures, let me put it this way, to make sure that even those in these densely populated areas are accounted for, or we just estimate? Those are some of the questions, critical questions that need to be answered. Because if you say Zambia is 19 point something million, the population of Zambia is 19 point something million, or it's at 20 million, that again brings in a bit of some doubts. Because why do I say so? There are people in this country, in one yard, in one a perimeter wall, whatever yard, you find that there are 80 people in there. 80 people. Okay? And again, with the coming in of boarding houses that are being constructed, that are being set up, because obviously people need to access education, which is very important, you find that the population keeps on increasing. So help us by giving us figures that translate to what is obtaining on the ground, and hence maybe that's the reason why Dr. Bayani's reaction is justified, because obviously he is in touch with the people on the ground, and he has information that maybe some of these figures can't correlate with what is happening on the ground. If you go to Mutendere, for instance, you count the people in Mutendere alone. Then you go to Kalingalinga, you count the people in Kalingalinga, you go to Kaunda Square, you count the people there, you go to Kalikliki. You find that the population has swelled. Okay? So maybe some of these concerns coming from the learned doctor are justified, and we need correct figures. We need figures that correlate with what is happening on the ground, with what the ordinary Zambian is seeing on the ground. We do have people that are living, the population as well. Let's just put it that way. Let us not even sugarcoat it. We live in these communities, we interact with a lot of people, and we are seeing that yes, the population of Zambia has doubled, and we know every after 10 years the population does double. If we are at for argument's sake, for instance, if we are at 20 million in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years, we are likely to be at 40 million. The population will definitely double, and we should be able to take time sometimes to read some of the World Bank reports that are normally released and be able to understand these things, so that when a government institution releases this information, we are able to relate it with what international institutions release, such as the World Bank, when it comes to the population of Zambia or Africa and how it's going to be in the next 10, 20 years. We will be able to understand and avoid some of these arguments that tend to look as though we are demeaning another institution, and maybe this institution is better than this institution. So let's read, let's develop reading, and this goes to obviously everybody, especially those that are in that like to play around with numbers. You need to read and relate this particular data that you collect with what other international organizations are saying, so that we avoid these arguments in public where you are told that these figures are not the right figures and the like. It is embarrassing at the end of the day, as a nation, that is. Let's go back to the news leaders and still sample some of their headlines. Okay, we are back. Police conduct has improved greatly under UPND. Mwimbo. Okay. Honorable Jack Mwimbo is the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. I'll leave it to you, the viewers. What do you think? Police conduct has improved under the UPND. I'll leave it to you, the viewers. Come through and let us know. However, I will be able to state that there are some traffic officers that have continued to mount roadblocks, and yet we know that there's a directive that came from the minister that there should be no mounting of roadblocks. Let me give an example. Right here in Ibex Hill, where we are, you find that there are some inroads where these traffic checkpoints are mounted, and you wonder what these officers are doing in these inroads, because at the end of the day there was a directive from the minister that they should not have checkpoints causing unnecessary traffic. You are rushing for work, or you are rushing to go wherever you want to go, then you are stopped, you are stuck in traffic, and you know that even the minister, the Copperbelt Province Minister, Honorable Elisha Matambo, did warn some traffic officers that they shouldn't mount these checkpoints, in a video clip that went viral where he told them off that you're just supposed to do mini checkpoints. You check from this particular road. For instance, if you're in Lusaka, you mount your roadblock through Kablonga Road. 10-15 minutes, you move. You go to Kudu Road. 10-15 minutes, you move. You go to Ali Kinkata Road. 10-15 minutes, you move. You go to Great East Road. Just like that. However, we have seen some traffic officers that have continued mounting these particular checkpoints, and I'm sure it's not only in Lusaka but in other parts of Zambia as well. So we are yet to see if the police service has improved under the UPND, but yes, there have been some improvements. I'm yet to find whether there have been some by-elections, and we saw that previously even us, the media, were not safe when it came to police brutality. We were not safe. We used to see how we were being treated as the fourth estate, and at some point we thought the media and the police couldn't work together, because we were treated as second-class citizens. And that's a fact, and many media colleagues can be able to attest to that particular fact. But in the recent days, months, years, we have seen an improvement when it comes to our working relationship with the police. We are able to call, for instance, the police spokesperson and request for a comment on a certain issue, and we're being attended to quite fairly, and our working relationship with the police has been cordial, and we enjoy it that way, and we hope that it will continue this way. So yes, there might be some teething problems here and there in terms of improving, but we enjoy a good working relationship with the police, and we have seen the police swinging in action, obviously curbing on crime. We not so long ago we saw the Scorpion, is it the Scorpion unit, the C5 as well, the flying squad, taking down criminal elements that have criminal elements that keep on taking advantage of citizens right here in Lusaka. And we have seen that this has continued, and kudos to the Zambia police, because they are vigilant and they are doing their work obviously well. So to some extent I agree with the minister when he says the police has improved. I agree with him when he says that, because yes, we have seen improvements when it comes to the police and how they conduct themselves. And also, speaking as a media practitioner, how our relationship with the police, it has obviously improved, and we want it to be that way. I hope the IG is listening or watching. We want it to continue like this. Dear IG, let's go back to our daily tabloid and see what we can get from there as we continue and as we wait for Mr. Max Moore to make his way here. We go to the broadsheet, the Zambia Daily Mail. Now, the Zambia Daily Mail comes up with a banner headline that reads, and I quote, "Acid pollution, HH summons all help." End of quote and end of headline there. Below that, the pollution in Kafue River threatening aquatic, human, and other life forms. Yes, that's very true. And obviously, this has raised concern from different stakeholders that this particular sad development took place. And residents around Kafue River or along Kafue River, they are being warned that please don't consume fish that comes from this particular river. Don't consume that particular fish. And for my brothers and sisters from Western Province, obviously, who happen to live along Kafue River, if you are from Western Province and you happen to live from Kafue River, please don't consume monitor lizards that come from there. Hopani, don't. It means that it is poisoned. So don't. If you find a monitor lizard or a hopani or insamba, like they call it, dead along Kafue River or coming out from the water, look, please don't consume it. Don't say God has answered your prayer and has brought free food for you or free relish for you. Please, I appeal, nakupa malozi bayesu muskacha hopani hopani kafela yezo manuka yaka river yaka Fiwe River muskaicha hopani nakupa bana bayesu. Okay, I had to appeal. In-laws there just to drive a point and to emphasize that my relatives there, please wakupa, and especially seeing that Kuomboka is coming through and the date has been set for the Kuomboka ceremony. You want to attend the ceremony obviously, and you don't want to consume poisoned hopani so that you don't attend our ceremony. don't do that. We went to Nkwala ceremony, we celebrated. We are now heading to the west to celebrate Kwomboka ceremony. Please, so don't consume that opani. Okay, as we wait for Mr. Max Moy to make his way here due to traffic, obviously he'll be here with us in a few minutes. Let's go back to Daily Mail and scan through it. Okay, so we have census report, credible, says Musokotwane. We weighed in on that particular headline. EU hands over 72 million kwacha ICT kit for land management. Fantastic. Okay, so we had some concerns, obviously, from some sections of society saying that donors are pulling out this and that, but we are seeing the EU are pumping 72 million kwacha worth of ICT kit. That goodwill should be appreciated and should be commended, obviously, thanking the IU for that particular gesture to the nation of Zambia. We are done with our what the newspapers say. For those that have missed this particular segment, quickly rush to our Facebook page. You will be able to find our newspapers displayed on our page so that you don't miss what is currently happening in this country. But for now, yesterday, like I said, was a hive of activity at the Ministry of Information and Media. Please, let's go to that particular clip where the minister is talking about load shedding reducing by June. Let's go to a particular clip. We'll be right back.
Called for more investment. One, in the mining sector. We realize that we are well positioned as a country in terms of our natural and or mineral resource endowment, that we don't just have some or be one of the largest producers of critical minerals such as copper on the global stage. We also pay host to some of the rare and critical minerals of the future, such as lithium, such as uranium. The list goes on. Cabinet yesterday was unanimous in its resolution that given the attractive mining regime we have, we must do more as government and as a people to ensure more investments in this sector for more exploration and exploitation of our minerals for the good of our economy and the good for the improvement of the livelihoods of our people.
Okay, that was Minister Cornelius Mwetwa there. Now, government says load shedding is likely to end by June 2025, given the improved water levels at the Kariba Dam, as reported by the Zambia River Authority. Now, Minister of Information and Media Cornelius Mwetwa adds that the government is also aware of the challenges around high cost of living and is working tirelessly to address the situation. Speaking at the media briefing, Mr. Mwetwa says the government had reviewed various critical matters to adapt to the changing economic and social landscape, such as agriculture, mining, and the cost of living, including the energy sector. Now, he has since called for increased investment in the mining sector, stressing that it plays a vital role in the country's economy and people's livelihoods. Mr. Mwetwa urged citizens to be prudent in utilizing public resources and warned against corruption. Now, talking about corruption, obviously, this has to be across all spheres, whether you're in public sector, whether you're in the private sector, especially those in the public sector, because you use taxpayers' money and you use the Zambian people's money. They need to use resources prudently. I totally agree with the minister when he talks about corruption. Corruption is rampant, let's face it, in public institutions, because people keep on saying, Niva Boma, Kizamu, Sofia Buteko, nothing will happen. Why am I saying this? Yesterday, the Public Accounts Committee on local government, the local government committee, invited the Nkema Town Council. There's a clip on our Facebook page. We monitor what happens at Parliament building, because that's the people's house, and whatever matters are discussed there, those matters concern the people. Now, their focus this time around is in Western Province. Our interest was in Kema Town Council. Excuse me. Now, we discovered, or we observed when this was going on, that the council secretary, together with his internal auditor, all together collectively as a team, didn't have proper answers to give to the members of parliament. What the report that they prepared, and guess what? They are appearing because they were cited in the Auditor General's report. Okay? Nkema Town Council was cited for mismanaging funds, for misapplying funds, for misappropriation of funds, obviously. So they brought a report, and what was contained in the report, what they prepared in the report, and when they were being questioned, the contents of that particular report, they kept on saying the famous word that everyone that appears on that committee says. They kept on saying so. Okay? For those that missed, you can go back to obviously Parliament TV, review that footage, or go to our Facebook page. We put a snippet of that particular discussion. And I love what Honorable Mishek Nyambose of Chasefo constituency said again this time around. He cited to the internal auditor and told him that he was a danger to the council. It's what I'm saying is of public record. It is there on Parliament TV and also on our page, that he was a danger to the council because he was defending wrong things. Okay? He was defending wrong things. And hence we are seeing development not taking place in various municipal councils across the country, because individuals that have been tasked to offer service delivery and obviously be catalyst in improving Zambia's economy, they are reluctant, or not even reluctant, they are being negligent when it comes to handling public resources. Now, my question is, members of parliament, in as much as they ask those critical questions to those council chairpersons, the various councils that appear before them, here's the thing. We have members of parliament whose constituencies are not utilizing constituency development fund. What does this say? This also says that we have members of parliament who are also slowing the progress in their various constituencies. We have members of parliament who are at 0.4% utilization of CDF, 2%, 6% of utilization of CDF, and yet they sit there and begin to question these councils why they didn't use that money prudently. I think this goes both ways. This goes both ways. If you are a member of parliament and you're going to ask these council chairpersons and their teams critical questions, check yourself. Is your own constituency performing better? Is your own constituency performing better? Transparency International Zambia released a report where worst performing constituencies when it comes to CDF application and best performing constituencies when it comes to CDF application were listed. And some of the worst performing constituencies when it comes to application of CDF, the members of parliament are seated in those committees asking critical questions to these councils and why they are not utilizing CDF funds, or why they are not building these particular, constructing schools, or doing all these projects in their municipalities. And yet you have MPs that are failing in their own constituencies. And when these councils appear before them, they tend to ask critical questions. I think this goes both ways. For fairness sake, this goes both ways. Members of parliament also should up their game and improve in their various constituencies. This is why people are saying we are not seeing any development, maybe in rural areas, but in urban areas, we are not seeing any development. Why? It's because the members of parliament that are there, the councils that are there, are not working to improve the lives of the people that they serve. And again, I'll go back to Honorable Mishek Nyambose and what he said, that maybe before people are employed in these councils, in these municipalities, they need to be thoroughly oriented on what it means to work for a municipality. They need to go through the bylaws. They need to be taught. They need to be trained so that they know, even when they are signing whatever they need to sign, they know the reason why they are signing, that particular document. Because what we got yesterday from Kema Town Council leaves much to be desired. You would wonder why certain people hold certain offices. It's there. It's of public record. It's there in black and white. You can go to Parliament TV. You can go to our Facebook page. These are national matters. You can look at that particular image from Transparency International Zambia. We have Kabushi constituency, worst performing constituency, at 8%. Malole constituency at 8%. Sinazongwe constituency at 7%. Serenje, Chinsali, those are the worst performing. Kabwe Central, and I keep on saying Kabwe Central because obviously I'm an interested party in Kabwe Central. This is why I need this constituency to perform well. You can see the numbers there. It's worrying. It's worrying. Utilization of CDF. Why should we have Kawata constituency at 3%? Why should we have Dundumwenzi? I even saw the member of parliament for Dundumwenzi yesterday in parliament. And the first thing that came into my mind once I saw him, the 0.4% came to mind. Immediately I saw the honorable member for Dundumwenzi constituency. Yesterday, he was asking the minister, is it the minister, because there are two ministers that made ministerial statements, the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health. He was asking the Minister of Health a question, and I saw him. And the first thing that came into my mind is 0.4% in his constituency, Dundumwenzi. And this is the stronghold of the ruling party. Why is a member of parliament from the ruling party seemingly lagging behind when it comes to development, when he has all the channels opened to him? He comes from the ruling party. This is a constituency that loves the ruling party. But why is this constituency lagging behind? That's the question we need to ask. Why is this constituency lagging behind? And Honorable Nyambose did make mention yesterday that it's the same thing across all the country, across the country when it comes to councils not performing well. They come with excuses. Does it mean that they don't have the capacity? Does it mean that they're incompetent? No, they are not incompetent. These are people that we've trained from our own institutions right here in Zambia, capable institutions for that matter. They've been tasked to offer service delivery to people given these particular offices to make sure that they offer a service to the Zambian people, and they don't. They come to parliament and they start giving excuses. And guess what? The same money they used all the way from Western Province to Lusaka, that's also public money. Let's face it, that's public money. To and from, that's public money. If you're going to say, no, it's not public money, where are they getting the money from? The revenue that they collect from marketeers and the like, and these levies that people pay, that's the money they use for their fuel to come to Lusaka, and fail to answer some of the questions. Let's go back to that particular that particular image there, director, so that our viewers can be able to see which constituencies are performing well. And we'll keep on talking about those constituencies that are performing well and those constituencies that are not performing well. Okay, so we quickly go on a break. We'll be right back.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has unveiled a new media team, making a significant shift in the party's communication strategy. According to UPND spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa, the new team will work alongside the outgoing team to ensure a seamless transition.
From now on, the party here unveils and introduces to the media and the nation the new media director of the UPND, Mr. Mark Simue. You can clap for him. So Mr. Mark Simue is no longer a media consultant of the UPND. He is now the media director of the UPND, and he will be assisted by Mr. Stula Squint.
Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu has been appointed as deputy spokesperson, while Mark Simue takes on the role of media director, assisted by Situla Sikwindi. Oliver Shalala has been appointed as media consultant. The UPND has also established a ministerial media team comprising cabinet ministers including Dr. Elijah Muchima, Paul Kabuswe, Emmanuel Chipokamlenga, Doreen Mwamba, and Frank Tayari. He says the team will be responsible for communicating government policies and participating in various media programs as needed. Mwetwa emphasized the importance of adopting a new culture of politics that promotes constructive dialogue and national building rather than funding anarch activities. He urged the opposition to join the UPND in promoting this new culture, which prioritizes the well-being of the nation and its citizens.
A ministerial media team has been set up, and these ministers, their job is to articulate government policy generally, not restricting themselves to their line ministry. So that when you want government policy, you don't just have to reach out to the government chief government spokesperson.
Meanwhile, Elvis Nkandu, the newly appointed deputy party spokesperson for the United Party for National Development, UPND, has expressed his gratitude to President Hakainde Hichilema for entrusting him with this new role. Nkandu, who currently serves as Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts, acknowledges the president's confidence in him and pledges to work diligently in his new position.
To thank the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who is also our president of the party, for his recognition that I should also play a role in making our Zambian people understand what the party is doing and what it intends to do. I'm very excited first to work closely with the Honorable Mwetwa, whom I admire so much. So I believe that what the president has done and what the party has done, just to add more firepower to what you people do expect.
Miriam Kansenga for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Okay, thank you so much for still joining us. Now, dear viewers, I know, just like me, you are expectant to see Mr. Max Moe, the UPND media director, newly appointed, fresh in office, first day in office. Now, it has come to our attention. In fact, he is just from calling us and sending his apologies to you, the viewers, that maybe we can reschedule because he needs to attend to a meeting at the People's House, State House, and we will be able to reschedule because obviously he needs to be at State House as we speak for an urgent meeting. So he has sent in his apologies, and since we are a Christian nation and a Christian driven station, we can only say he is forgiven. we will reschedule, obviously, and host him later. But for now, let's go to this other story where I know you are aware of this, but let's go to this particular story. Anyway, I'll read about it, but you know the contents of this particular story. Yesterday, obviously, the Minister of Information and Media did make mention that there have been changes to the media team from the ruling government and the ruling party, and there were some concerns that he is the spokesperson, he is the minister, but why is he announcing party affairs at the Ministry of Information and Media? Now, before you get me wrong, these are things that can be done either at the party secretariat or obviously at the ministry. It's one party at the end of the day. We used to see back in the day where the then Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Honorable Doris Leah, would have these press briefings with the media director, Mr. Sunday Chanda, then who is now the Kanchuria Member of Parliament, seated on her left or seated on her right. So these are things that happen in these government offices, in these party affiliates, and they do happen, and we've seen them happening. So it's not something new coming from this particular party in power. However, moving on, we saw that yesterday there were some new appointees on the far left. Obviously, there was Mr. Sikwindi Stula, who has been appointed as UPND Deputy Media Director, taking over from Mr. Chelo Katambo. Seated next to him was Mr. Likando Mfalali, who is the Deputy Chief Whip in Parliament, who is also part of the ministerial team that has been constituted to give credible information and interpret government policies to you, the viewers out there, and the general public, as it were. Then obviously presenting this particular or hosting this particular press briefing was Honorable Cornelius Moto, and seated on his right next to him was the Minister of Sport, Youth and Art, Honorable Elvis Nkandu, who was appointed as the new Deputy Party Spokesperson for the UPND, and obviously seated on next to Honorable Nkandu was Mr. Max Mowe, who was supposed to host today, but however, he has sent in his apologies and will reschedule. He was appointed as Media Director of the UPND yesterday. So, yeah, that was the story that I wanted to tell you about. And of course, the ministerial team that has been constituted, which includes Honorable Likando Mfalali, Honorable Poka Buswe, the Mines Minister, Honorable Doreen Mwamba, they'll constitute this particular ministerial team to explain government policies, to explain plans that government has, obviously, for its citizens, seeing that we'll be soon heading into an election year. And since the minister assured us yesterday that come June this year, load shedding will reduce. So we want to know the mitigating measures that are going to be put in place for us to get there, and that these are some of the issues that this team will be explaining to you, the viewers out there, and the general public, because we have heard, we have complained that the UPND media hasn't been too effective when it comes to communicating policy and government plans. And this was acknowledged by President Hakainde Hichilema during one of his press conferences where he talked about the media. Little did we know in the media that the president was listening to whatever we were saying, and now it has materialized where we have seen the new team of information disseminators that have been appointed. Before I forget, Mr. Poshalala also, many people know him from the football fraternity. he has been appointed as UPND, a media consultant. UPND consultant, not media consultant, UPND consultant. So this is the team that has come together, and we can only wish them all the best, because as the media, they are part of us, obviously, and all we are praying for and wishing is that they will be available for interviews as and when we need them. If they can't make it here, we can always have a virtual interview. If that's not possible, we can always have a phone call interview. So that's what we're appealing on, so that we're able to inform our people out there, so that they do not blame us that you didn't bring this particular individual to explain government policy. No, this team has been constituted, and like I said, Mr. Max Moore was supposed to be with us, but he has an agent meeting at the People's House, State House, where obviously this will take place. They are going to have meetings, obviously. Being new in office, he is excused, but we'll follow him up, obviously, for more interviews, as we schedule this particular interview we're supposed to have with him this morning. Now, obviously, this is where we have to say goodbye. Thank you so much for your company. You have been wonderful. We'll see you when we see us. My director upstairs, thank you so much. I have been your host, Joe Smarter is my name. We'll see you when you see us. Good morning and God bless.